Hi, today's blip is on pain pathways. It is one of the ascending pathways. We'll see the how it can be traced easily in the paper so that you can get the maximum in terms of marks. So there are two types of pain to start with: fast pain and slow pain. Ultimately, the receptor is nothing specialized one. It is free nerve ending. Fast pain starts within zero point 0.1 second after stimulus, painful stimulus. Then when compared to the slow pain, it starts after 1 second and it can be increased after 1 second or few seconds to minutes. Then these two are transmitted separately in a two different pathways. So this is what is known as dual transmission of the pain signal into the CNS. The fast pain is also known as neospinothalamic tract, whereas slow pain is also known as spinothalamic tract in terms of its development by evolution. Neo means newer in evolution. Now, fast pain is carried by a delta fiber, that is a peripheral pain fiber, and it can transmit at a speed of 6 to 30 meters per second when compared to the type C fiber, which is transmitting slow pain fiber, which can transmit only with the speed of zero point 0.5 to 2 meters per second. Now we'll see the crucial part of the discussion, that is a flowchart. When you start the flowchart at the bottom, because it is ascending upward, we'll see one by one. First we start the footnote, that is pain pathway, that we have to represent at the bottom. Then we have two types of fibers: A delta fiber, fast pain fiber, and type C represented blue color. The entire blue color representation is for slow pain pathway. A delta and orange color is for representation of fast pain. Now we will see one by one. These fibers enter the spinal cord and terminate in the dorsal horns of the spinal cord. At each level of spinal cord, these fibers terminate in the dorsal horns. To be specific, the fast pain fiber, orange track, you can see fiber, is terminating in the lamina 1, which is also known as lamina marginalis. Whereas the slow pain fibers are terminating in the lamina 2 and lamina 3. This combination is known as substantia gelatinosa. You can see they cross immediately. The second order neurons cross immediately to the opposite side. This is the midline in dotted markation in the center of the face. Cross opposite side and they will ascend upward to the brainstem. So this combination, the fast pain and slow pain pathway, is known as anterolateral system or anterolateral pathway. Now we'll take up the fast pain. When they're climbing, minority of the fibers, you can see small arrow, thin arrow, is ending up in the reticular area of the brainstem, whereas the majority of the fibers, bold arrow, is going to ventrobasal complex. That is what we have seen in the dorsal columns also. So that the second order neuron is ending up in the thalamus, that is ventrobasal complex for fast pain pathway. Whereas you can see slow pain pathway, after they're climbing upward towards brainstem, majority, the bold arrow indicates the majority will terminate in the reticular area of the brainstem. Okay. Then minority will go to the two specific nuclei. You can see here. Yes. Intralaminar nuclei and ventrolateral nuclei. These two are specific nuclei to receive the terminals of the slow pain pathway. Okay. Then one more point we need to remember in this flowchart is the fast pain pathway, the neurotransmitter is glutamate, whereas the slow pain pathway, the neurotransmitter is substance P. Glutamate is fast acting neurotransmitter, which will be disintegrated in few milliseconds, whereas substance P is slow acting neurotransmitter. Then you can see the difference here between fast and slow. Fast will take up orange. You can see from the ventrobasal complex, the third order neuron is ending up, minority are ending up in the basal areas of the brain, whereas majority are going to the somatosensory cortex, like its behavior of dorsal columns. Whereas you can see slow pain pathway on the right hand side, blue color, after thalamus, the third order neuron, majority, the bold arrow, is going to basal areas of the brain, which may include tectum, hypothalamus, limbic system, periaqueductal gray, and so on. And minority will go to the somatosensory area. If you can draw and trace this flowchart up to this level, you are done with the flowchart, and the examiner will perceive that you know all the landmarks and you will get the good mark. If you can understand this flowchart very well, you can represent very much easily. You can go through the flowchart once again and represent for the best onto the paper. And if I feel this video is useful for you tracing the pain pathway, you can subscribe for future videos also. Right.